Good evening. I am Lucas, and I'm here today with Marley Pierre, and we're going to be talking about his recent opening title sequence of his new film, Case 77. Marley, tell us a little bit about Case 77.
Case 77 is a psychological thriller that we aimed to captivate a younger audience, an early adult, as it's quite... I feel like that audience can look up to the detective the good detective, you could say. I don't want to give too much away.
Well, let's just get into the story plot. Can we just have a little insight towards the planning of the story and how the idea came together, Marley?
I think, to be honest, I was just laying in my bed and I was just like, what movies do I like? I like Zodiac, I like those sort of movies, the detective thriller. I was like, all right, so I'm going to go with detectives, and I kind of want there to be a little bit of duality in there. So I decided to have a good and a bad one, but I wanted the bad one to be really, really disgusting and gruesome, so that it sort of shows how people have a mask.
Now, moving on to your opening title sequence, Marley.
Yes.
So I'd like to talk through the timeline and think about what you kind of gained from this experience throughout. So I'd like to talk about planning strictly for the opening title sequence.
The planning for the opening title sequence. Okay, so where do we start? We started with...
So we had the idea came about.
The idea came about, yeah.
And then what steps were taken to bring it to life?
So the main preparation we took was it was comparing our idea to other opening title sequence that we wanted to take inspiration from, which I think we had The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Seven, and Saw 2. I think those were the three that I really liked and wanted to be similar to. And then from that, we built a props list, and we did some things on AI where we wanted to have a picture of what we wanted the set to look like. So we had to find props, build up a table of how much everything cost, buy a costume or look for a costume. And yeah,
nice.
That was pretty much the...
Now, in terms of the planning, what did you learn? So we'll fast forward to on the day.
On the day.
What did you learn going into that shoot? What did you learn about your planning that you could adapt if you were to create another film?
I think I learned that I need to imagine the shoot day is a week before. So I have to have everything ready so that throughout that next week I can check and go over all the stuff that could be better. Not just the shoot day come up and it's in our faces.
Yeah, good plan. Now, what was it on the day that made you come to this realization?
When so I kind of forgot shoot day. And then I came in and someone forgot the costume.
Goodness.
We didn't have any props. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Okay.
It was a mess. In fact, Adam, our teacher, said we were the worst prepared group to ever come out of.
Goodness. Now, it's my understanding that K77 was 4 times nominated at the Hurtwood.
It was, yes.
Now,
yes,
how
yes,
do we
yes.
go from the worst prepared group that Adam has ever seen in his career to being 4 times nominated?
Now, look, although we had good preparation in what we wanted to do, but we didn't follow through on our ideas. Whereas our, instinctive problem solving was very good, I think, because we got lots of fake blood, we got the props that we needed, or we got enough props to fill in the 2-minute time zone that we had to... We actually ended out with, what was it, an hour? An hour of footage?
An hour and 20 minutes of footage, I believe.
Yeah, we did it. I think we did an amazing job for the state that we were in at the start of the day.
Now, what technical skills did you develop while building up to the shoot day in terms of camera and editing and sound? Because it's a very well put together sequence. The camera shots are really professional.
We did have a couple workshops with Matt, and he taught us a lot of how to film in a captivating way and how to follow on sequences with the right shot types for the right feel of the scene. And yeah, I think he had a lot to do with our success in our camera shots. As we had a couple sessions with him, we learnt a lot and we followed through on it.
Nice. Now, one could argue that the highlight of K77 was the first 2 minutes, that
Some may
opening
say
title
that, yes.
sequence.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of after the shoot, because obviously it's all well and good having a good camera, setting it up and having good props and getting those shots in. But in terms of the skills that you used to develop that footage into a title sequence with the editing and sound, how did that come about and what did you learn from that process?
So with editing, one of my team had a lot of experience with it.
Sounds like a legend.
He was a pretty cool legend. He was very good at editing, and I learnt a lot from him. And I ended up doing a couple edits myself.
And now a word from our sponsors, Captain Morgan. Captain Morgan is a delicious beverage that can be enjoyed at home, in the studio, or at school. Just don't get caught. Moving on to the next segment. Now, Marley, final question for the day.
Yes, sir.
If you had to recreate this sequence on your own without your team members, do you think that it would be possible, and what would you incorporate to ensure that it was at the same standard? What have you learnt that would enable you to do it on your own?
I think I would have to make more notes on what I've already done and what I have to do next, and have more of a check it off more, because I think that was our problem, because we had everything down, we had our planning, we planned all of it, but we weren't able to follow through on it because we didn't know what we had and hadn't done. So I think if I were to do it by myself, I would be much more organised in the sense of knowing what I've already done.
Perfect.
But apart from that, I learned a lot, had a lot of fun, and yeah, 4 times nominated.
4 times nominated. And that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. Now, thank you very much, Marley, for joining us. Thank you. And it was a pleasure having you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
We will be back next week with another one of K77's members back to you in the studio.